Hey Nathan, hope you've been doing well. I'm checking in to give you my midterm reflection. So last week I got my official midterm evaluation through PwC. Their system is called the PwC Snapshot. I downloaded all the contents, put it into a PDF, and sent it over to you about a week ago in replacement of the meeting with the site supervisor and the signed survey, everything like that. Just like like we discussed before, due to firm policy, they're not allowed to fill out any forms on any student's behalf. So hopefully that issue is resolved and understood on both sides. So I'm just going to assume that it is. So I'm just going to go straight into this. So basically, my performance was gauged on five categories: whole leadership, relationship building, global acumen, business acumen, and technical capabilities. Um, It's scaled 1 through 5, 3 being at internship level. Um, so I chose a fellow associate, his name is Michael Conan, to do my snapshot. And basically, on the actual request, I disclosed and stated everyone that I worked with and what task I did for them. And once I submitted to Michael, he went around and inquired with all the people I listed on the snapshot to get their take of my performance as well. Um, yeah, so that's basically how it works. So I received a 4 on whole leadership and relationship building, which is above internship level, which was good to hear. I'm definitely stepping in the right direction, I think, at least in those categories. On global acumen and business acumen, I received a 3, which is internship level, which is pretty much expected from an intern. They don't really give us that many opportunities during the internship to really distinguish ourselves from one another in those categories. And I received a 2 in technical capabilities, which is, according to Michael, completely normal from most interns. We're going into this completely new profession pretty much to us, and we're trying to adapt and learn all these new software systems and interfaces, and which can be pretty difficult to grasp right away. So I'm not too worried about that, and I'm okay with it because it leaves me like room to grow. So, for example, I had another snapshot due at the end of the internship in a few weeks, and I feel like since I got that grade, I've made the necessary changes and efforts to maybe improve myself within that category. So just being able to capture and quantify my actual growth throughout the internship, I think is going to go a long way. Um, and again, it's not something that's irregular coming from an intern. I'm definitely trying to refine, every category and just be the best I can be. Um, but but yeah, overall, I got a good review, which I'm happy about. All right, so characteristics. I'm learning about myself through involvement. Um, I'm starting to realize that I'm a lot more detail oriented than I actually thought I was. And I guess I found that out just through, I don't know, all the questions I ask. I feel like with whoever I'm working with, like I'll just kind of realize all of a sudden that I'm bombarding them with questions, and I receive a lot of like comments and feedback from, and I know, and when I say bombard, I don't mean in like a really bad way, just like in a, I don't know, just a more constant fashion than what's, I don't know, normal from an intern. But like what I was saying, I receive feedback from people saying that I do, in fact, actually ask like really good questions to like a point of depth where maybe a first year associate wouldn't even understand. So I think that's good. I'm just trying to dissect any piece of information, or I don't know, any piece of information out of any question or situation I'm in, just to learn as much as possible. And I think I'm just genuinely a curious person, which I think is a good sign, um, considering that from what I've been doing so far, it actually does capture my interest to a point where I want to know all the ins and outs and all the little details to every component. Um, and that's completely natural to this point. So I think that's a good sign. All right, characteristics you've noticed about the organization you're interning for. Okay, so I've been working out at Nike. So May 31st was the fiscal year end for Nike. And we actually issued the official 10K and audit report yesterday. So ever since I got out to Nike, I've been on Nike the whole time. I was propelled into a busy season atmosphere, which I think was really beneficial to actually see and be a part of. Because arguably, what I was participating in was probably the most busy time of the year for anybody part of the engagement team on one of the biggest clients that PwC actually provides services to. So right away, it was definitely a work intensive atmosphere. I didn't get to work overtime or anything like that. They pretty much gave me the boot at 5 p.m., but a lot of associates were staying there late, just getting their tasks done and doing everything they need to do in order to get to the spot, to the deadline where they needed to be. Um, so, so yeah, that it was work intensive, but it was inclusive and really team oriented. That's one thing I noticed. Like we were in the audit room together. There's probably 40 people on this team, partners to internships or to interns. Um, it all seemed really inclusive. Like I was brand new. I was meeting everyone else, but I felt like my efforts were valued even from some of upper management, like right away, which I really liked. Um, like I said before, I didn't feel the need to hold back any questions I had. Everyone was happy to give me maybe a little explanation or to like guide me in the right direction when I needed it. Um, and there were lots. It didn't seem like a hierarchical structure in terms of leadership, which was cool. I thought that every person within the team displayed some level of leadership by, I don't know, voicing their reasonings and voicing their insights to the whole group if they feel like something should be changed or added, which I thought was really cool. It just seemed like a very holistic atmosphere, which I gravitate towards, and it's definitely kind of a situation I'd like to be a part of and continue to be a part of. Um, any skills? Okay, that last question is pretty not confusing. It's pretty interesting because the baseline accounting knowledge of just learning how everything flows together is definitely important, and it's definitely knowledge that I'm really glad I have, especially at the start of this internship and to continue forward. But a lot of like the hard skills that I studied hours for in school and for exams and everything is really not that applicable in the real world. um, Auditing processes are much more automated. So I feel like soft skills in terms of teamwork, people skills, being able to face a client and being able to take information, transform it, and putting it into a visualization and being able to convey your reasonings and findings to other people is definitely more of a skill that's in demand rather than your straight edge accounting skills, which is something that's pretty um, it's something that's pretty comforting, considering that was one of my worries coming into this. It's like how much of what I learned in school am I going to have to be able to transfer over? Like how much should I really retain after like reading countless textbooks and chapters and yeah. So yes and no, but for the most part, I actually lean towards no. I feel like once we got here and once we got to training, they kind of they treated us as if we knew nothing, which was interesting but kind of comforting at the same time. You know, it's like, all right, like why did we go to school for 4 years then? But you know, the more I'm getting into it, and the more areas and of like different value streams that I'm getting involved in, more and more skills that I've accumulated throughout school is starting to become more relevant. And I don't know, over time, I think that's going to eventually continue to increase. Um, yeah, so there's my midterm reflection. Everything is going by pretty quickly. You know, I only have like 3 weeks left of this experience, which is crazy to think about. It's going by really quick, but within the short time frame, I feel like I'm making progress. Um, I'm confident in the place I'm at right now. I'm confident in the relationships that I've um, built so far. Um, and for example, that one aspect of my midterm reflection that does need some work, I'm confident that I'm going to be able to buckle down and get opportunities which would allow me to up myself in that area, even by the end of this internship. Um, so yeah, I guess that kind of ties to my second goal, my technical capabilities. I've fallen short a little bit. That was kind of expected. I got like catapulted in this brand new situation, you know, doing brand new tasks that I don't really know, um, you know, the right way to do things. But I don't know. The more I practice, the more it'll become easier, just like anything. And so I guess I can really, if I want to break it down and quantify my goal of increasing my technical capabilities, by my last snapshot, I want to score at least a 3 in the technical capability section. And if I get to that 3 by the end, then for me, that is fulfillment of my goal. Um, yeah. So there it is. Um, also, for our midterm meeting, I can't remember if we actually scheduled a specific date and time for that. So I'll just send you an email like in the next few days and we can figure it out. But yeah, thank you, Nathan. I'll talk to you soon.